On our engagement day, during Lunar New Year, I only had a few extra glasses of celebratory wine. My fiancée kicked me out of the car just because I was drunk. As I suppressed a headache and walked back home, I saw her hugging and kissing her dream guy instead. I regret it now as long as you're willing to come back. I'm ready to call off the engagement for you. Looking at her gentle and patient demeanor toward her dream lover, suddenly I felt regret too. To save her the trouble of calling off the engagement on our wedding day, I dumped her. The window of the bridal room reflected the shadows of two familiar figures. It was clear that at this moment they were holding each other tightly. I kicked off the shoes on my feet. These shoes were an engagement gift Liu Ruyan gave me. I really liked them. Too bad they were one size too small. Walking all that long distance caused my feet to chafe and bleed profusely. So now I'd rather go barefoot than ever force myself into them again. I called that familiar international phone number, Dad. I'm not getting married anymore. I want to go abroad to find you. Dad was silent for a moment, then said, all right, I'm getting old too. This business empire will be left to you sooner or later. It's good that you come over a bit early to get used to it sooner. I choked up and gave a soft yes, only to hear a heavy sigh coming from the other end of the line. I thought that girl was different. Never expected you'd still follow the old path of your mother and me. Xiaolin, don't cry, you're still young. A man's world isn't just about marriage and children, but you can also have your own career. Think it over carefully yourself. Dad will wait for you tonight. In the past, I also used to think Liu Ruyan was different. She was a powerful career woman, but kept herself very disciplined, gentle, and polite toward every other man besides me. She always maintained a polite distance. Even after her career became successful, there had never been any romantic rumors. Until tonight's engagement party, she saw an uninvited guest, Zhou Jingchen. For the first time, she lost her composure and broke a wine glass. For the first time over a minor issue, she flew into a rage at me, leaving me all alone by the roadside. If the person Liu Ruyan saw had been someone else, I would think that everything might just be a misunderstanding. I would be willing to give Liu Ruyan another chance, willing to spend another 5 years, or even 25 years by her side without asking for anything in return. But the man in that room just had to be Su Jingchen. It's Su Jingchen, the guy who bullied me for over 25 years. It's Su Jingchen, the guy who robbed me of everything. It's Su Jingchen, whom I can never ever forgive. The exact moment I saw Liu Ruyan initially taking the initiative to bring Su Jingchen home, I completely let go of this woman from the bottom of my heart. Don't know why, but my hand still uncontrollably opened the camera. Home surveillance app. On the camera, Su Jingchen was wearing my pajamas, lying in our brand new bridal room. The woman who never did chores, who once bashed me for drinking, saying I had no self-respect. Liu Ruyan actually willingly went into the kitchen to cook hangover soup for him. Su Jingchen looked up and asked, a mere substitute, are you really planning to marry him, egg? Liu Ruyan didn't answer. She leaned down and massaged Su Jingchen's legs. Even if you don't say it, I already know. You did all of this just to make me jealous. Organizing some random engagement party was also just to force me to show up. You basically can't forget about me. This entire room is decorated according to the style that I like. Renovated, and even the wedding ring you chose is the design that I prefer. On the cake are the initials of the two of us. Even the shoes he wore were just my leftovers that I didn't want anymore. Saying that, Su Jingchen placed his foot on Liu Ruyan's chest. The one you love has actually always been me. Liu Ruyan still said nothing. After a moment of silence, she suddenly threw herself into Su Jingchen's arms, using a passionate kiss to pour out all her loving feelings. Seeing this scene, my tears flowed uncontrollably. I recalled our 10 years of being together. Every time I felt the romance and tried to initiate a kiss with her, she would coldly turn her face away. I used to think she was just shy and conservative. Who would have thought? She only reserved her most passionate love for Su Jingchen. For 10 years, her body was close to mine, sharing sweet intimacy. But in her heart, she was keeping her loyalty for her white moonlight after all. I took a deep breath, intending to call a car and leave. Liu Ruyan had come downstairs at some unknown point, abruptly calling out my name. Seeing me turn around, she reflexively let go of Su Jingchen's hand. Jingchen got drunk tonight. He's your younger brother. I was worried it wouldn't be safe for him to walk alone on the street, so I brought him back home. He's a good man who knows his boundaries. Fearing you might misunderstand, he insisted on heading back first. Liu Ruyan, who was usually a woman of few words. But whenever Su Jingchen was mentioned, she seemingly had an endless amount of things to say. Furthermore, every single sentence was defending him. I looked at the woman in front of me and suddenly felt an extreme sense of strangeness. Clearly, I was the one who grew up with her. Childhood sweethearts since we were little. Clearly, I was the fiancé who built the business alongside her for the past 10 years. Why in the end did I become a mere substitute? Suppressing the pain, I took a deep breath. He is not my brother. He's just the child born from a homewrecker. Hearing me say that, Liu Ruyan suddenly flew into a rage. Su Xiaolin, how can you say such vicious words to Jingchen? Apologize to Jingchen right now. No wonder you were abandoned by your biological parents since childhood. No wonder nobody can love you. This bitter, harsh attitude of yours makes me sick. You deserve to have nobody love you. Seemingly afraid that I would harm Su Jingchen, Liu Ruyan pushed me down onto the roadside, then shielded him by standing in front of him. The gentle moonlight bathed Liu Ruyan's face. That anxious expression of hers perfectly overlapped with the small silhouette in my memories. Many years ago, when we were still just kids, Liu Ruyan had also shielded me just like that. Back then, my mother had an affair and got pregnant with someone else's child. Wanting to be with her lover, she forced my dad to get a divorce. My dad went abroad and I became the unwanted third wheel at home. Every time Liu Ruyan next door heard us arguing, she would always rush over and shield me, shouting out loud, "Su Xiaolin, you're the best person in this world. Even if the whole world turns its back on you, then I will still love you forever and ever." After growing up, I always carved those words of Liu Ruyan deep in my heart. I worked hard to make money, wanting to escape my toxic family, so I could build with her a happy home that I had always dreamed of. But every time I brought this up, she would always furrow her brows and coldly drop a line, "Childish words can't be taken seriously." But now that Su Jingchen has appeared even an excuse, like childish words, she didn't even bother to say to me anymore. She just used a single line, "You deserve to have nobody love you," to stab hard into the most painful wound in my heart. I turned my head away, not wanting to look at her anymore, but my eyes uncontrollably welled up and turned red. Liu Ruyan's gaze wavered slightly. Not sure if it was because she realized she went too far, or if she noticed my feet bleeding profusely. She sighed, "Tonight I'll just assume you're drunk and talking nonsense. There won't be a next time anymore." I spoke indifferently. What? Liu Ruyan didn't understand what I meant and was about to ask further, when she suddenly saw Su Jingchen crying and running away. She didn't care about the question in her mind anymore, and hurriedly chased after him. Because she left in such a rush, the star-shaped necklace in her pocket fell out, without her even realizing it. I picked the necklace up from the ground. Dazed, Liu Ruyan and the small star tattoo on her left chest, every detail that I used to ignore, was now all connected together. Childhood sweethearts can't beat the latecomer. The so-called 10 years of loving each other was just my one-sided wishful thinking. Since that's the case, there's no need for me to suffer and desperately hold on for a woman who isn't worth it anymore. As I turned around to head back home, I received a message from my dad. He had booked a plane ticket abroad for me. The time was exactly half a month later. Right on our wedding day, the countdown board in the living room has now become the countdown to the day I leave. I gave a bitter laugh and threw away all the bridal room decorations and matching couple items. Fate has decided to use these last 2 weeks to say goodbye to all of my past. When daylight came, the ringing of Liu Ruyan's phone call woke me up. "Xiaolin, are you up yet? I ordered the xiaolongbao you like best. I won't be coming home today since there's an emergency at the company. Let's take the wedding photos another day. Don't take what happened last night to heart either. I already apologized to Jingchen on your behalf." "All right," Liu Ruyan didn't expect me to agree so decisively. She awkwardly added, "The wedding is just a formality to save face anyway. Our relationship is so good. There's no need to use these things to prove anything. Let's just keep everything simple." "Sure, let's keep everything simple." This wedding had no marriage certificate, no wedding photos, no host, and not even a groom. After hanging up the phone, I used a marker to cross out the schedule for taking wedding photos. On the calendar, Liu Ruyan's work was always busy. Usually she had no time to spend with me. Therefore, I had written down all the things I wanted to do most on the calendar, wanting to take advantage of this wedding preparation period to fulfill all my wishes once and for all. Unfortunately, each wish was covered up by thick layers of marker ink, becoming an unspoken regret. I no longer put my mind on Liu Ruyan anymore. After submitting my resignation letter to the company, I scheduled a meetup with a few close colleagues to say goodbye. Over the next few days, I contacted my friends one by one to inform them about the cancellation of the wedding. Actually, we all guessed it already. My friend opened Liu Ruyan's social media profile to show me. Lately, Liu Ruyan had always been by Su Jingchen's side. People who weren't close all thought the guy in the photos was me, but we could tell at a single glance right away. Liu Ruyan had never posted a single picture of me, yet now her feed was instead flooded with shots of Su Jingchen's silhouette. They went to the amusement park together to cheer him up, went to the bridal shop to try on outfits, and went to the beach to drink and watch the sunrise. Her love for Su Jingchen was so public. She only blocked one person and hid it from me. My friend looked at me with worry. "Xiaolin, don't be too sad. Su Jingchen doesn't even stand a chance against you. If Liu Ruyan knew his true colors, she would definitely regret it to her core. It's fine. I stopped caring a long time ago." I looked down at the busy streets filled with traffic. In just a few days, I would leave this place forever. I had no time or leftover energy to worry about Liu Ruyan anymore. So when Liu Ruyan came back after being away for many days, I still didn't have any reaction. Upon arriving home, her hands never stopped texting. She absent-mindedly glanced around the place. "Why does the house look so empty? Didn't you decorate? Didn't you say? Everything should be as minimalist as possible." Liu Ruyan was left speechless. Her gaze fell on the number 7 on the countdown board. Time really flies. There's only 1 week left until our wedding. I tore off 2 calendar pages. Our wedding was actually 5 days away. The wishes written on these 2 pages were to ride the Ferris wheel together and to watch the sunrise and sunset together. It's just that Liu Ruyan would never notice anything related to me at this point. Dad called me on the phone. I went out to the balcony to have a brief, simple chat. When I came back, Liu Ruyan was still looking at her phone. What's wrong? I think I heard something about a visa. But it's nothing, just a work matter. All right then. Don't plan any honeymoon trips or anything like that, okay? I'm very busy and don't have time to go anywhere. I knew that ever since Su Jingchen came back. She couldn't bear to leave his side for even a single step. Seeing that the atmosphere was a bit awkward, I handed the star-shaped necklace to Liu Ruyan. Her calm eyes suddenly lit up. So it was with you. I've been looking for it for so long. I know. I had seen her high-priced lost and found post online, offering a 1 million RMB reward just to find an old, worn-out star necklace. Meanwhile, the total budget for our wedding was less than 200,000 RMB. I looked at Liu Ruyan and suddenly asked, "Where is your wedding ring?" She froze for a brief moment. Before belatedly looking down at her own hand, her finger was completely bare. The ring had vanished at some unknown point without her realizing it. Liu Ruyan was about to explain, but then another message arrived on her phone. It was the custom ringtone reserved exclusively for Su Jingchen. She glanced at it, then stood up and kissed my forehead. "Sorry, hubby. I've been too busy lately, so I'll have to leave the wedding preparations to you. Once this busy period is over, I promise to make you the happiest man in the world." Liu Ruyan, who was usually a woman of few words, suddenly learned how to say sweet honeyed words. If it were the past, I would definitely have been deeply moved and overjoyed, feeling like I had finally melted that iceberg. But now I only felt disgusted, went to wash my face, and continued doing my own thing. Time passed bit by bit. Soon enough, it was the day before the wedding. The wish written on the calendar for today was to eat a family reunion dinner together. This had been my biggest wish for over 25 years, but I knew very well myself that this wish could never ever be fulfilled. Dad would never forgive Mom, and I would never forgive Liu Ruyan either. I went to ride the Ferris wheel all by myself, watching the sunset fall from up high. The twilight glow enveloped the city where I was born and raised. Every memory seemed to vanish into the night wind. Meanwhile, Su Jingchen posted a new status update. The whole big family was having a meal together. My mother smiled warmly as she looked at Liu Ruyan, then put food into his bowl. The caption read, "The two families meet to discuss the final details for the wedding." I wasn't angry at all. I just found it ridiculous. Whose wedding was it anyway, mine or Su Jingchen's? I blocked and unfriended Su Jingchen, intending to say something to Liu Ruyan. I drafted a text for a long time but didn't send it out after all. Right when I was about to head home, Liu Ruyan called me. "Where are you? Why aren't you at home? Send me your location. I miss you." Liu Ruyan arrived very quickly. Only after getting into the car did I notice. The passenger seat had a new basketball-shaped cushion. Moving it aside revealed a half-open box of condoms. Hesitating for a brief moment, I chose to sit in the back seat instead. Liu Ruyan's eyes were still glued to her phone. Not noticing my unusual behavior at all, she casually asked, "Why did you suddenly want to go to the amusement park? Is the wedding prep all done?" "Pretty much. I remember you've always wanted to ride the Ferris wheel. I'll go with you and play to your heart's content when I'm free. Today, I originally didn't want to bother you either, but it's Mom, who wanted to see you." In Liu Ruyan's eyes, the wedding was solely my own business. She would forever only think of me when she needed something from me. I didn't reply. My nose felt a bit stingy. The wind blowing made my eyes so uncomfortable. Arriving at the old house, there was only a table of cold food left. Mom was chatting away with Uncle Liu. Aunt Liu warmly pulled my hand. "Xiaolin, Auntie really likes you, even though you don't make a lot of money. Your personality is simple and you know how to take care of the family. Unlike those other malicious men out there." As she said this, her eyes glanced towards Su Jingchen. Though honestly, with Ruyan's conditions, she could definitely find someone better. But I also advised her to cherish what she has. After all, not every man is willing to marry into the wife's family. That being said, you're not that young anymore. Stop working after getting married and have kids soon. In the future, just stay home and focus on taking care of Ruyan. I just hummed to brush it off. Looking up, I saw Liu Ruyan had already walked over to Su Jingchen's side. She held up the groom's suit and the best man suit, telling us to try them on. "Knowing you were busy, I let Jingchen go pick them out for you. His taste has always been great. Except my suit was yellowish old and even had a huge tear along the seam." Meanwhile, Su Jingchen was wearing that premium white suit, looking way more like the actual groom. Liu Ruyan looked a bit anxious, saying the shop owner must have messed up the order. "It has nothing to do with Jingchen. It's just that it's too late now to go exchange it. I'll think of another way tomorrow." "It's fine." I indifferently prepared to take off the jacket. Su Jingchen then suggested taking a group photo together. Shuffling back and forth, they pushed me all the way to the edge, while he stood right next to Liu Ruyan. The moment the camera clicked, he tripped me up. As a result, the shot only captured a blurry silhouette of me, with my face completely unrecognizable. Liu Ruyan said she wanted to retake it, but I gave a faint smile. We can talk about it when there's a chance in the future. It's getting late anyway. The wish to take a photo together had long been crossed out by me. Su Jingchen's eyes welled up as he said, "I'm sorry, bro. Please don't be mad and give Sis Ruyan a hard time. Tonight, even if I have to run across this whole city, I will definitely find you a suit that you like." Saying that, he burst into tears and rushed outside. Liu Ruyan glared at me fiercely, before chasing after him. I just found it completely pointless. Holding the ruined suit, I left all by myself. After all, tomorrow everything will finally come to an end. Back home, I did a final check on my luggage, staying busy until the crack of dawn. Unexpectedly, I stumbled upon Liu Ruyan's diary. In the diary, it recorded the time a few years ago when Liu Ruyan hit rock bottom, and the process of her meeting Su Jingchen during those hard times. But a few of the most important pages were torn out, leaving behind only a single sentence. "That was the happiest time of my life." The subsequent pages, page after page, were nothing but ramblings about how much she deeply missed Su Jingchen on the exact day she accepted my marriage proposal. She wrote this in her diary. "Once young and naive, mistaking mud and sand for the stars in the sky, I missed out on the only true love of my life. In the future, no matter how hard I try, I can never turn Su Xiaolin into Jingchen. The past cannot be undone for Jingchen's sake. I will treat Su Xiaolin well." Her handwriting was elegant and refined, with every stroke cutting deep into my heart. Tears fell, blurring the words in the diary. I looked up and stared at the gifts Liu Ruyan gave me over the years. From big items like watches, sports cars, and luxury clothes, to small things like plushies, milk tea, and gaming consoles without exception. They were all things that Su Jingchen liked. Looking at myself in the gray hoodie in the mirror, I clearly looked like nothing more than a bigger version of Su Jingchen. I used to think that because Liu Ruyan and I were childhood sweethearts who spent 10 years together, there would at least be a little bit of genuine affection between us. But clearly, she had witnessed with her own eyes the trauma that Su Jingchen caused me over all those years, and yet she still chose to believe him. She knew perfectly well that the person I hate most in this life, the person I detest most, is Su Jingchen, but she still chose to turn me into his substitute. A feeling of injustice and rage tore my inside apart. I smashed the mirror in front of me and shaved off the hairstyle I used to meticulously care for every day. After finishing all of this, I tore the final page off the calendar. On it was written my last wish: to hold the most grand wedding and marry the girl I love the most. Liu Ruyan, now the wedding has been completely ruined. The person I once loved the most has also changed, to the point where I can no longer recognize her. I crumpled the piece of paper and threw it away, without bringing anything along. I caught a ride to the airport completely alone. At 12 p.m., the exact moment I just sat down, Liu Ruyan called me on the phone. Her voice actually carried a slight hint of choking up. "Su Xiaolin, where are you going?" The announcement for the flight takeoff rang out. I didn't answer. I powered off the phone, leaned back against the seat, and fell into a deep sleep. Perhaps because too many things had happened lately, and utterly exhausted in Timinkau, actually managed to get a good night's sleep on the plane. It's just that in my dream, I still constantly saw Liu Ruyan's face. At 7 years old, playing house together. She said she was the bride and I was the handsomest groom. At 18 years old, we officially locked in our relationship. She said she would make tons of money for me, to give me the most spectacular wedding, and build the happiest family ever. When did our relationship begin to change anyway? Was it after Su Jingchen appeared, or even before that? I couldn't remember anymore. Liu Ruyan almost completely filled the first half of my life. No matter how hard I tried to stay calm, letting go of her was still a pain, like having my skin peeled and bones scraped, getting off the plane. I didn't even have enough courage to turn on my phone. Dad was standing amidst a crowd of blonde foreigners, and Blue Eyes waved his hand to call me. Not having seen each other for over 10 years, he was no longer the man in my memories, the one who used to sit crying on the sofa waiting for mom to come home anymore. He had aged but looked even more radiant than in his youth. "You've grown so big." Dad kept rubbing my face, his mouth repeatedly whispering apologies. I leaned into his embrace and called out, "Dad!" "I don't blame you. It was you who taught me after all. A man must have his own self-respect. Instead of waiting to be loved, it's better to love yourself first." My dad from 20 years ago and me from 20 years later both made the exact same choice. Xiaolin Liu Ruyan is calling my phone. Dad wiped the tears from my face, but his own tears fell first. Dad still says the same thing. "No matter what you choose, I will always support you." On the phone, it was packed. Line after line. All missed calls from Liu Ruyan and the text messages she sent before I could even finish looking through them. A new call came through. Xiaolin. Liu Ruyan's voice trembled as if a heavy burden had been lifted. I had never seen her look so anxious before. I found it a bit incomprehensible. Su Jingchen has already come back after all. Why did she still care about a mere substitute like me? Xiaolin, you read my diary, didn't you? That's not the truth. Nothing happened between me and Su Jingchen. I only view him as a younger brother. You must be heartbroken, right? I saw the tear stains you left on the diary. I admit I've neglected you too much lately. But I never thought about hurting you. I was just momentarily confused. Liu Ruyan, I know you marrying me was due to pressure from the elders, so I chose to leave. To fulfill your wish with Su Jingchen. What else do you have to be unhappy about? Why are you crying? In Liu Ruyan's diary, Su Jingchen was the ray of light during her rock-bottom years, the boldest stroke of ink in her life. Story. While she completely forgot how hard I worked during that exact time, to help her rebuild her entire business empire from scratch, when she and Su Jingchen were enjoying the best time of your lives. I was the one who took all of my savings too. Cover your financial deficit. I was the one who went to find every single partner, kneeling down and bowing my head to beg them. It was me who drank night and day to entertain clients, until I got a stomach hemorrhage. All of those things, she didn't remember any of it. She only remembered the feeling brought by a gaze of eternal love that Su Jingchen gave her. That mesmerizing feeling that makes people lose their minds. She tattooed Su Jingchen's name on her chest, lying to me that she wanted to remember those hard years, to motivate herself. In reality, the thing she wanted to engrave in her heart and bones was only a Su Jingchen who was as passionate as fire, now that she got her wish, and found the only love of her life again. Why did she start missing me? Xiaolin, you ran away from the wedding just to take revenge on me, right? In your heart, you have me after all. You love me too much, resenting me for neglecting you lately. So you intentionally did this. It's okay, I'll forgive you. Xiaolin, no matter what you do, I will forgive you. I laughed bitterly for a moment, not knowing what to say to refute her. Back then, when I was young and naive, I also used to throw tantrums and cry. Used to make a scene and run away from home, but no matter what I did, Liu Ruyan would always just coldly stand by and watch. She wouldn't comfort me, nor would she scold me. Just like a stranger watching me feel heartbroken and sad, waiting for me to take the initiative to bow my head and admit fault. I used to think that was just her personality. Who would have thought she understood everything completely? She grew up with me since childhood, and understood me like the back of her hand. She was absolutely certain that I loved her, and could never leave her, relying on my love to become totally fearless. She never expected that. I would suddenly act so decisively. All of this completely exceeded her control, so she finally started to feel afraid. Afraid that she would permanently lose me. After thinking through everything completely, the very last bit of my lingering attachment to Liu Ruyan also vanished in an instant. Liu Ruyan, I'm very grateful to you because when my life was at its hardest, you gave me your gentleness. Therefore, I am willing to forgive all the pain you caused me. Running away from the wedding isn't my revenge, but it is my choice. From now on, I have neither love nor hate for you. I hope both of us live well and never meet again. After saying these words, I blacklisted Liu Ruyan's phone number, looking up to smile at my dad. But for some unknown reason, tears kept falling uncontrollably. Can't really tell if it's happiness or sadness anymore. Dad patted my shoulder and said it's all over. Dad will throw a welcoming party for you to welcome your new life together. Dad's welcoming party was very special. He spent a few days helping me settle everything down, then took me to the biggest bar. The music was deafeningly loud. The high-proof alcohol gave a strong rush, causing all worries and suffering to seemingly vanish completely at this exact moment. By the second round, Dad had no energy left. He arranged for a few bodyguards to look after me, then went home to rest first by himself. I partied hard all the way through the night, not until being supported by the bodyguards did I stumble my way outside. In my daze, I seemingly saw a familiar silhouette. She quickly walked toward me as the images overlapped with each other. I clearly saw that it was Liu Ruyan's face. She said, Xiaolin, come home with me. I'll handle our parents. As for relatives and friends, I will also explain to them. Nobody will blame you. As long as you're willing to come back with me, I will forgive your wedding elopement and even your affair. I will sort everything out for you. Let's start over from the beginning, okay? I swear I will definitely treat you well and will never let you down or make you heartbroken again. The spot where she just stood was littered with cigarette butts. I don't know when she managed to find her way here, let alone how long she had been waiting here. I only found myself astounded by her shameless words. Why on earth do you think that I need your forgiveness? Liu Ruyan took a few more drags of her cigarette, her eyes turning red. I saw you and the Western girl in a bikini, hugging and dancing together. If that's not cheating, then what is Su Xiaolin? I love you, so I'm willing to forgive you. If you lose me, you will never find a better woman than me. I couldn't help but burst out, laughing. Did you happen to forget? We already broke up. In Liu Ruyan's eyes, her kissing Su Jingchen right after getting engaged wasn't considered cheating. When I was hospitalized because of her, Her longing for Su Jingchen wasn't considered cheating either. Her turning me into a substitute for Su Jingchen was also not considered cheating. Yet me just going to a bar once after our breakup somehow made me an unforgivable traitor. This whole thing was truly beyond ridiculous. I didn't even bother to pay attention to Liu Ruyan and was about to leave, but she desperately chased after me anyway. Su Xiaolin, we both accidentally made mistakes. Why can't we just forgive each other and continue to live happily together? We've known each other for over 20 years and been together for 10 years. Can you really just forget everything just like that? She was about to rush forward to grab my hand, but was blocked by the two bodyguards next to me. Without turning back, I spoke calmly. Remember when you met Su Jingchen? You could easily throw everything about us to the back of your mind. I can do that too. Go back. Go be with Su Jingchen or whoever else you want. Just don't come back to disturb me anymore. I'm moving on and I'm looking forward. Unlike you, who will forever only know how to cling to the past. Liu Ruyan refused to leave. She abandoned her company back home, ignored everyone's objections, and stubbornly insisted on staying by my side. Even Su Jingchen chased her all the way here because of this. He furiously came looking for me. Su Xiaolin, quite a slick move you got there. Daring to use a wedding elopement to grab her attention. Don't think that you've won. I will find a way to make her come back to me. I silently stared at Su Jingchen. He stole my mother away, stole my happy life away, and stole all of my friends and my lover away. Whatever it was that I had, whether he genuinely liked it or not. He always wanted to snatch it for himself. In the past, towards Su Jingchen and his homewrecker father, I used to hate them to the bone. But looking back at him now, I only find him utterly pitiful. In their world, love doesn't exist at all. There's only endless scheming and infighting. They view all men as imaginary enemies, and view a toxic woman as a trophy of war, while completely forgetting that once you walk away from those women, outside is a much bigger world. Suit yourself. It's best if you snatch her away soon, so I can live my days in peace. Su Jingchen was stunned for a moment, then threw over a few pages torn from that diary. What do you have to be so smug about? The one she loves is me. He detailed the specifics of that period of time, the things that he and Liu Ruyan did together, the lifelong wishes that I yearned for. To him were just mundane everyday occurrences. A Liu Ruyan who was cold and strict in front of others, but in front of him, could fully unleash her wildest and most uninhibited side. I didn't care about any of that white moonlight nonsense. It was nothing more than driven by lust. The one Liu Ruyan loves has always been only herself. I turned around and discovered that Liu Ruyan had appeared behind my back without me realizing it. She had become so haggard, no longer dressing up or grooming herself meticulously like before. Her hair was messy and her eyes were bloodshot. On her body, she was still wearing the clothes that I once bought for her. She suddenly rushed right in front of Su Jingchen and slapped his face hard. Shut up. I won't allow you to drive a wedge between me and Xiaolin. I've already investigated everything clearly. You don't love me at all? You intentionally seduced me just to hurt Xiaolin. That day, you actually weren't working a part-time job or doing a work-study program either, but rather running away with another girl. Unable to endure a life of hardship, you ran away on your own. You deceived me from beginning to end. It was you who caused me to lose Xiaolin. He's the best person who loved me the most in this world. Su Jingchen clutched his face in disbelief. Liu Ruyan turned her head to look at me again. Xiaolin, you knew everything about him, you knew it all. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you just stand by and watch me get deceived like that? I was speechless. If I told you, would you even listen? You would only think that I was just being mindlessly jealous. Furthermore, we grew up together. Did you really not know what kind of person Su Jingchen was? You just lusted after his body, but refused to take responsibility. Liu Ruyan, you truly are a beast in human clothing that utterly disgusts me. Perhaps my scolding words were too harsh. Since then, Liu Ruyan went completely silent for a long time. Su Jingchen also no longer had the nerve to keep acting arrogant in front of me. I started working at my dad's company, gradually getting familiar with the business operations. After work, I would go out to eat and drink with my colleagues, chatting happily, living a peaceful and warm life. Just when I thought my life had finally gotten on track, something completely unexpected happened. On my way home from working overtime, I noticed someone stalking me. That section of the road was very deserted. The streetlights flickered, sometimes bright and sometimes dark. I was afraid calling the police would alert the stalker, so I carefully tried to keep my composure. As I passed by a bush, he suddenly rushed out and tightly grabbed me from behind. I was scared out of my mind, my entire body trembling uncontrollably. "Don't hurt me. I can give you all the money I have on me." He said nothing, the arms wrapping around me tightening by the second, seemingly afraid that I would escape. At this moment, the streetlight flashed once. Thanks to that flickering light, I saw the star tattoo on his chest. I blurted out in utter disbelief, "Liu Ruyan." In that instant, her body froze. I used all my strength to push her away, and after seeing her face clearly, I used every ounce of my strength to slap her across the face. "Liu Ruyan, what on earth do you want from me? You truly are worse than a beast." Her face instantly flushed red, but she wasn't angry at all. She just carefully lifted my hand and blew on it gently. Xiaolin, I won't hurt you. I couldn't bear to hurt you either. I just want to take you home. I avoided Liu Ruyan's touch with utter disgust. Over all these years, I knew she was stubborn. Someone who wouldn't learn until hitting rock bottom. But I never thought she could be this extreme, becoming completely unhinged to this extent. My entire body went almost numb as I leaned against the wall, uncontrollably trembling from fear. Liu Ruyan edged closer again. Xiaolin, look at how dangerous the outside world is. Come back to me, okay? Men also need to be protected. I will protect you well. I will cut ties completely with Su Jingchen. In reality, I never loved him. I was just suppressed for too long, momentarily blinded. Whether I loved him or not, I don't even know. I only knew that Liu Ruyan loved playing the devoted lover trope, thinking herself so deeply affectionate, while completely disregarding the feelings of the other person. Clutching my pounding chest, I said, Liu Ruyan, don't you ever appear in front of me again. If there's a next time, I will literally pull the trigger. After calming my emotions down, I texted my dad, briefly summarizing what happened, and asked him to come pick me up. Even now, my legs were still completely weak, unable to take a single step. Liu Ruyan was like a child who had done something wrong, standing there helplessly opening her mouth to speak multiple times but stopping. Who knows how much time had passed. Dad arrived, bringing along a squad of police, and Liu Ruyan was arrested. She didn't resist at all, only staring at me silently, her eyes seemingly filled with endless reluctance to let go. Dad was absolutely determined to throw Liu Ruyan into prison. Eventually, Mom and the Liu family came over to negotiate. At first they begged, but later they started hurling insults, calling me shameless, accusing me of running away from the wedding for no reason and calling me heartless and ungrateful for wanting to throw my ex-fiancé behind bars. It was only at this moment that the usually silent Liu Ruyan finally spoke up to fire back. It's all my fault. It has nothing to do with Xiaolin. I brought this upon myself. It's me, I was greedy and couldn't be satisfied. I didn't appreciate you. I regret it now. I truly regret it now, Xiaolin. I don't dare to beg for your forgiveness. I only beg you not to forget me. My stepmother also wanted to come over and beg, but after seeing my dad's cold gaze, she lowered her head in embarrassment. During that time, she kept stealing glances at my dad. I guess perhaps she also regretted it now. There are some things that you must wait until they are lost to prove just how precious they were. To some people, the things they can't get and the things they've lost forever are always the best. In the end, through the mediation of multiple parties, Liu Ruyan paid the compensation and was deported back to her home country. As we parted ways, she asked me if we would ever meet again. Never. She suddenly burst into tears, weeping hysterically in front of everyone, looking completely helpless. Why did things turn out this way? Xiaolin, you stayed by my side for too long. So long that I thought you would never leave me. So long that I thought no matter what I did, you would always forgive me. I never thought there would come a day when you would quietly walk away. Nor did I expect that I would lose you forever. After you left, I finally realized the whole world had changed. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just couldn't resist the temptation. After waking up to reality, I knew I wouldn't choose Su Jingchen, but I was still reluctant to let go of his wild, carefree nature. That's why I wanted to turn you into a version of him. I thought by doing that, I could have both of you at the same time, but I forgot. I forgot that in this world, there is only one Su Xiaolin. Whether good or bad, he is a one-of-a-kind existence. Your eyes cannot tolerate even a single grain of sand, let alone resign yourself to being a substitute. My dad and I prepared to go home. Behind us, Liu Ruyan was still continuing her tearful confession. The bucket list you wrote on the calendar. I saw it all. Why have we been together for so long? Yet even these small, ordinary things we've never done before. Except for that blurry photo, I couldn't even find a single photo of us together. We've never gone to an amusement park together. Never even shared a proper meal together. 20 years of knowing each other. 10 years of loving each other. Looking back now, every little bit is a regret. I was too foolish. I should have realized it sooner. I let my desires blind my eyes. Coming here this time, I thought even if I couldn't bring you home, making up for a few regrets would be fine, but I didn't expect. I didn't expect things to turn out like this. Xiaolin, will you ever forgive me? Liu Ruyan's voice seemed sorrowful to the absolute extreme, but I still didn't turn my head back. Dad tossed the car keys to me. You've truly grown up. Starting tomorrow, you should officially take over the company. Dad can finally retire in peace and enjoy his old age. I smiled. I definitely won't let you down, Dad. The car left the airport highway, the foreign scenery outside the window rapidly flashing past. Behind us, the bright golden sunlight fell on the back of my slightly trembling hand. Dad quietly handed me a bottle of warm water and softly said, regarding the past, it's okay to have a good cry, but don't let it block your path forward. Dad believes you can do your job well and can also live your own life well. I took the cup of water, and the emotions I had suppressed for so long finally burst out. Tears quietly fell onto the rim of the glass, spreading into water stains. This time, there was no more feeling of injustice or resignation, only the sheer relief of dropping a heavy burden. Finally, I don't need to be anyone's substitute anymore. Finally, I can live for myself. Taking over dad's company was much harder than I had imagined. I didn't have much experience managing an overseas business. During the first month, I worked overtime almost every single day until late at night. The numbers on the reports, the unfamiliar professional jargon, the barriers in cross-cultural communication, all of them made me feel an immense amount of pressure. There were a few times when I unconsciously wanted to text Liu Ruyan for help. After all, she used to be the person who I thought was a badass alpha female, whom I could lean on for the rest of my life. But when my finger touched the screen, I suddenly snapped back to reality, deleted the text, and went back to studying the documents. I knew that from now on, I had to learn how to stand firm on my own 2 feet, and couldn't rely on anyone anymore. Dad never put too much pressure on me. Occasionally he would work overtime and have late night snacks with me, listening to me vent about my frustrations, while patiently teaching me the company's operating model and how to balance interest with human relationships. Business is just like being a decent human being. You must treat people with sincerity. Staying true to your core intentions is more important than anything else. Dad's teachings were like a beacon lighting up the path ahead. I gradually shed my shyness and low self-esteem, becoming more composed and decisive. When problems arose, I took the initiative to solve them. Even when facing difficult clients, I could stay calm and negotiate. I gradually mastered the business operations, earning the recognition of the employees. In my spare time, I often walked in the park with Dad, watching the sunset over the sea and experiencing the local customs. I no longer kept the short hairstyle identical to Su Jingchen's, nor did I wear that gray hoodie anymore. Instead, I put on well-tailored suits and got a clean, neat haircut. My whole appearance looked much more vibrant. I also started hitting the gym again, rediscovering my hobbies of reading and playing the guitar. The things that were once put on hold because of Liu Ruyan had now all become the nourishment that helped me grow. I no longer suffered from insomnia every night, nor did I daze off upon hearing a familiar voice. Liu Ruyan in my life had finally become an insignificant passerby, a lesson reminding me that I must know how to love myself. Half a year later, I heard some news about Liu Ruyan from an old schoolmate. After being deported back home, she had completely changed, dissolving the company and selling off the newlywed house, wholeheartedly searching for Su Jingchen. But ever since she slapped him that day, Su Jingchen had completely vanished into thin air. Some said he returned to the country and hooked up with someone else. Others said he ran away to hide due to debts. As for Liu Ruyan, she was like a lost soul, keeping watch every day at the door of the place where she first met Su Jingchen, not eating or drinking. The brilliant and talented alpha female from before was now dressed in tattered clothes, with hollow eyes, completely stripped of her former glory. Hearing these things didn't cause a single ripple in my heart, no sympathy nor any sense of schadenfreude. I recalled the days when I acted so humbly for Liu Ruyan, the days I spent trying my hardest to please her, recalled my feet being rubbed raw until they bled, the heartbreaking words written in that diary. The healed wounds left scars behind, always reminding me not to repeat the same mistake. Liu Ruyan's tragedy was entirely of her own making. She was insatiably greedy, wanting the excitement from Su Jingchen, while also wanting to keep my gentleness, taking advantage of my love without any fear. In the end, she destroyed her own happiness with her own hands, losing the person who cherished her the most. Sometime later, Dad took me to participate in an overseas Chinese entrepreneur summit. There I met Lin Wan. She was the founder of a design firm, gentle, kind-hearted, independent, and clear-headed. We hit it off perfectly during our conversation. She understood my regrets and my pain, while also appreciating my resilience and growth. She never took my sacrifices for granted, nor did she ever demand that I become a clone of someone else. She loved the real me, someone who had experienced betrayal, but still strived to move forward in life, which is me, Su Xiaolin. Lin Wan would bring a warm dinner when I worked overtime, patiently listening and offering advice whenever I ran into difficulties. On weekends, she joined me to hit the gym, read books, and watch the sea. The days spent by her side were so peaceful and reassuring. There were no arguments or hidden agendas, no groveling or trying to please each other, only mutual respect, equality, and a two-way love. I gradually opened my heart, learning to love and trust again. Finally, I also came to realize that a man's world doesn't just revolve around marriage and romance, but also includes career and self-worth. True love is when two people help each other succeed and becoming better versions of themselves together. One day, while organizing some old belongings, I pulled out the leather shoes Liu Ruyan had gifted me. The shoe size was too small, and the tip still bore a faint trace of blood. I calmly put them into a cardboard box, preparing to donate them to a charity organization. These shoes contained the responsibility and humility of my entire 10 years. Now I no longer have any need for them, no longer depending on shoes that don't fit my feet to prove my worth, nor searching for a sense of belonging with someone who isn't worth it. At this moment, Dad walked in and handed me the phone. Liu Ruyan called, saying she isn't doing well. She wants to beg to meet you just once, even if it's only to look from afar. On the screen was an unfamiliar number. Perhaps she had changed her phone number. I stayed silent for a moment, pressed the end call button, and gave it back to Dad. There's no need, Dad. We don't owe each other anything anymore. Meeting again serves no purpose. Dad nodded and patted my shoulder. He knew I wasn't being cruel, but that I had truly let it go. In the evening, Lin Wan and I went to the beach to watch the sunset. The bright golden twilight spread across the sea, the waves glistening. She linked her arm with mine and softly said, "What's in the past, let it stay in the past. In the future, let's watch many more sunsets together, okay? And fulfill your unaccomplished wishes together." I turned to look into her gentle eyes, my lips curving into a serene smile. I recalled the wishes I once wrote on the calendar, the regrets that couldn't be fulfilled with Liu Ruyan. In the future, Lin Wan will be by my side to fulfill them, going to the amusement park together, riding the Ferris wheel, watching the sunrise and sunset, sharing a reunion dinner and hosting a warm wedding. The regrets of the past will eventually be filled with new happiness. The old wounds will finally become badges of growth. Darkness slowly fell, the sea breeze was chilly, and I tightly held Lin Wan's hand. Looking at the distant lights, my heart filled with hope. The past has become history, and the future holds endless possibilities. I will never have to act humbly again for anyone anymore, no longer playing the substitute for anyone, and will stay true to my core intentions, working hard and cherishing the person right in front of me. Liu Ruyan's ending was her own choice, and has nothing to do with me, while I will carry Dad's expectations and Lin Wan's companionship, staying true to my original intentions and bravely moving forward to every corner of my own horizon, welcoming a brand new chapter for the rest of my life, with no love and no hate, heading toward the sun. This is the life I have always dreamed of. The end.